Here, and for this session, we are reviewing a Diamond Soldier. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Our Diamond Soldier, and we're on Halloween Eichenwald. Works for me. Okay, good. Cool. So, he's nodding a lot. I guess he's nodding and moving back and forth. So does that count as saying yes or saying no? I don't know.
Good choice.
Okay, so you're setting up over here, looking for your early high ground peak to see if someone was maybe forward that you could catch on their way out. Sure. This is a super early sprint. So the problem with this is you're here sort of on this off angle. You can maybe get some value, but you're sort of like reminding this team, giving away that you're here. If you actually go for any sort of open here, like you'd actually like to get a pick-off attempt here. Like you'd like to be able to open with your helix and some headshots to try to finish someone off that was maybe holding early, that's maybe paying attention to this. And these guys just aren't going to be paying that much attention to just your Zarya, because your Zarya got here pretty quickly, but everyone else predictably is kind of behind. Once you've got like 2, 3, 4 people here being an adequate distraction, then's your moment to give up your first peak advantage. You're sort of more powerful with that first peak on a fresh angle. You're more likely to get a pick off out of it than you are on future peaks on this angle. And you've really only got this as your only off angle option, so I'd kind of like to get some value out of the first peak. They can turn their attention on you immediately because, again, just Zarya is not really all that threatening. Have you reviewed this player before? Maybe.
Team, heal up here.
I could check. I didn't actually check this one because I was like, hey, it's there. It's on the page. It made sense. But usually I won't multi-review someone who we've reviewed before. It's possible we have on this one, though. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. So, like, you're trying to force this too hard. So we already did our little first peek thing. I like it. Good. You're here. Cool. Zarya's shooting through your angle. Hog's now threatening. That's helpful. But, like, these guys are fighting you. These guys back here that you're trying to fight are really only going to be able to fight you. They have their own mercy boost, and you're aware of that. We don't really need this anymore because these guys can't threaten your team. Like, it would be cool if you got an elimination, but given that these guys back here can't really threaten your team because their sight line is only on you, this 3 group back here, we don't really need to shoot at them. We want to shoot at their core. We want to distract their core, similar concept that a flanker would take, when either they're not aware of us and we can potentially get a pick off, or when, if we didn't apply pressure to them and make them deal with us, make them worry about getting shot with us, they would be vulnerable to, how do I want to say this? Our team would be vulnerable to them. So if we're shooting at them when they would otherwise be fighting our team, that has some value. If we're shooting at them when they don't know we're there, that has some value. If we're just taking a firefight, 1v3, 2v3 like this, when these 3 can't really fight the rest of our team, we're kind of wasting our time. We'd be better off just like waiting with the angle closed, literally waiting with the angle closed. They don't get to fight me, I don't get to fight them, but there's 1 of me and 3 of them. So there's 5 of my team remaining in the fight to fight the remaining 3 of them. It's not quite that simple, but that's kind of how you want to think about this. You just change your name and post it on alts out of Overwatch University to get free reviews that way. I mean, good luck with that, Blah. I don't grab that many freebies anymore, so I don't think that's going to be terribly effective. So far, there's been like 5 Blah reviews that have that no one knows are Blah reviews. I mean, there could have been. I don't think that's true, but there could have been. I'm not really too worried about it. I also don't really do that many freebies anymore. We're, successful enough doing enough paid reviews and finding enough other more interesting topics that it doesn't make sense to do a ton of freebies. I just throw the occasional one in, like this one today. We also did one yesterday, so that's 2 days in a row that we've done one. But that's kind of unusual at this point. And the Mercy one was a little bit different in that, oh, okay, this is a top 500 Mercy. A lot of people are going to be curious. Okay, so here we are. You force this, you're gonna get rezzed.
Thanks, Doc.
Sure. Right idea. Good.
Tactical necessity.
Leave. That was so predictable. So here you are. You take him out. I like it. We've done this.
Necessity.
Oh, we have a super chat coming in from Adam in Charge for $1.99 saying, Temporal, you were a nerd. Haha, a nerd. Not cool. Nerds are pretty cool, man. I don't know about that. But Adam has super chatted in that I am a nerd, which is fine. He can say that for $1.99. Okay. So you're reloading here, opening the angle. She's looking right at you, and she's really only got one chance to beat you. So, like, she's got one chance to beat you. She has the Mercy Pocket. Your team is going to fight her and beat her just fine, and you can see that because you can see that your team is right here. They're going to push her. We can afford to close this angle for another moment, especially while reloading. There really wasn't a good reason to open this angle while reloading. Like, yeah, maybe we wanted to leave for a moment, but we could be checking out this. We could be doing our PG&E inspection, seeing how much power this haunted house is using, going like, you guys need to cut energy, you know, doing our inspection like that, and then we open the angle once we've finished our reload. You open this angle early, but also you're sort of forcing this fight and letting her have her one chance to beat you when in literally a second your team is going to help you here. Now, you're not actually going to get eliminated because she doesn't have time to beat you even if she hits the sleep, but she did just beat you. I don't really mind that you forced it, that you rushed it. I'd have just liked you to complete your reload back here rather than over here. Like, I didn't really need you to kite it. Yes, you should have been aware. You should have been able to go, nope, I'm not going to let you get your sleep, that sort of thing. Make someone else deal with it. But yes, we do want you, when you have that many people, to just walk on the opponents.
Hello.
Nerds are pretty cool. Cope. Yeah.
Escort the payload.
Form up on the payload. Move it out.
Hate to break it to you, Adam, but we're not in the 80s anymore. Okay. Well, don't go encouraging people to try to cheat the system. It's really not going to work very well, but we still don't need to encourage it. Wait, it's not the 80s? Okay, so here you are. This is potentially okay, except that, hey, this is a Roadhog. We've got to think... Oh, no, that's your Roadhog. Oh, yeah, we're fine with this. My bad. Sure. What was this Helix for? You go up here, which we like. You don't take shots at the Mercy. You instead decide that you want to shoot at this. I mean... Okay, I probably want to put a little pressure on the Mercy just to make her leave. Just to make her uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay, instead we're Helix rocketing a Reinhardt shield, a Reinhardt Azaria bubble. Like, no, it was like shield break damage. This fight is going to turn too real. I don't really care if I break his shield or not. I'm much more interested in the real damage on this Mercy. I'm not necessarily going to spend Helix on it, but I'm much more interested in that real damage. And it's not totally real. She's going to self-heal it. She's not going to get eliminated. But she's going to play more passively. She's going to drop down and play with this person where she's not helping as your Pharah challenges her Ashe down there. That sort of thing, which is helpful for the Mercy to go away while your Pharah is challenging the Ashe.
Fire at will. Heroes never die.
So here you are. You hear it. I don't know why you think you can challenge this. Like, I get wanting to keep the high ground, but your team dropped pretty significantly, and you saw where the Mercy went. You saw the Mercy went down over here and had her beam connected to something over here, so you know there's something over here. Like, you should know this is crowded enough that you don't really want to stay here. Yeah, you're just not tracking and thinking about where the opponents are well enough here. And this is sort of similar to, hey, we don't want to take fights with their core when their core isn't otherwise doing anything. Again, your team is mostly stacked on cart, hanging out on cart over here. Like, you're not distracting a lot of team by going and taking this fight with Soldier. It's not a good timing to be taking this fight with Soldier. But also, hey, look, they're like bunch of enemies right in here. Your team's over here. Your team can't help you with this fight. Doesn't really make sense unless you can get the jump on him, which, you know, you'd have had to get the jump safely, not at point blank. If it's a point blank, you're not getting out.
This is not your time.
Not dead yet.
Wait, legit RC? Oh, we have a super chat coming in for 50 SAR. Wow, this review is appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Lion32. I appreciate that. We should be helping you out. You're a regular here, so we can do that. I definitely appreciate the super chat, though. That's awesome. It shouldn't actually stay that way. I set it up with my normal live streaming thumbnail there. Munabinator. I don't know how to pronounce that. I did set it up with my standard live stream thumbnail, but sometimes if you post it too soon after you've changed it, sometimes it uses the previous thumbnail. It'll change itself. It'll update in a few minutes if it hasn't already. Are you my student? Okay. Well, I think you're one of my students, Adam. Yeah. Thank you once again for the 50 star there, Lion32. I very much appreciate that. We're going to continue with the review.
Move back.
Okay, so you're taking this. You decide that it's not worth fighting from here, which I agree with. You're going to use this time to rotate. You dropped the helix on the way, which is fine. And now you're here. Sure, this is reasonable. Ash should be your target. Anna's going to be your target, fine. Okay, to look left. Yeah, you knew that there was the Ash here. I guess you felt like, oh, the Ash went down, it's fine. Do you not hear the sound effect? No, you can hear the sparkles. You can hear Magical Girl Mercy over there. I mean, she's not actually in the Magical Girl skin, but, like, she's making, you know, sparkle noises with her rezzing there, with her Valk. You can hear her. And that res just went off behind you. Like, the res, maybe you didn't hear the sparkly noises, but you could definitely hear the res. Oh, you can't be here. You have to drop. You literally have to drop. Too slow. Just slow in the sound cues there. Temporal, 50 SAR equals 1333 USD. It's a big super chat. I agree it's a big super chat. And I appreciate it. So this is kind of the concept we've been talking about before. If they don't know you're here, you can potentially go for an opening peek. See if you, on this opening peek you can get value of, like, can I helix and headshot someone and eliminate them real fast? And that potentially makes sense. But as soon as they know you're here, or as soon as that's not an option, we're not really interested. We're not poking into a team that's trying to advance on us and giving resistance. We're really just poking 2vx right now. And we don't really want to do that. If we found a 1v1 maybe, but this is a 2vx, we don't really like it. We don't want to challenge it. Maybe you don't realize, you know, you probably don't know the Ash is there yet, so hopefully you're going to change this as it changes. No, now you know the Ash is there, and now you're done with this, right? No, 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 you're basically 2v5ing.
We need to keep the payload moving.
Okay, go up right side. Right side. No, I do not want to fight up like that. No, thank you. No, thank you. Pharah had the right idea going over here. If you want to create a little bit of distraction for Pharah, maybe that's what you're trying to do. That's okay. I think you're a touch early for that personally, but you can put a little bit of pressure to create that distraction to sort of lock them there. No, not quite yet. And about now is when you really, really want to be forcing it. This is what you want your angle open. And it is. Good. Good. Okay, so little more open time than we needed. We needed to keep some attention on us to let Pharah rotate cleanly, to let them not pay attention to her. I think we could have gone with a little bit less of their attention on her. We could have closed the angle for a little bit longer than we did in that open-close phase, but that's fine. You ignored the sound effect. Yes, you did.
Only gets better with age. Feeling grand.
Огонь по готов.
Okay. Sure. I don't really want to drop my healing station here. I'm just not that worried about the Mercy coming back up. I do want to get healed, it's true, but like, I'm not convinced that I'm not going to have to chase these guys deeper. Like, these guys are pushing into your tanks, and if they push any further into your tanks, you're going to consider coming down here and fighting them. And sure would be nice to be able to drop my healing station here, if that's what we go do. I'm not too worried about these guys coming back and immediately just destroying you. If they do, you can sprint out pretty easy. I don't really want to drop this healing station yet. It's locking you to this position for 15 seconds, and it's too likely that your tanks are going to get pushed right now. And now, what do you know? You're leaving, and your healing station is, like, right there. Like, yeah, Zarya did you a little bit of a favor by how long she stayed there. So you could get a little more value out of your station, but there was no guarantee that was happening. There was no need for that to happen, even. She kept 2 lanes open on her, both your tanks and you, when she really shouldn't have. Good? You gladly lose if you're building good habits. That's a good way to think about it, Adam. Just still do be, playing with like 85-95% focus on your good standard gameplay. But yes, building good habits is great. And what's really more important, it's not important that we win every single game. It's more important that we're getting better. Okay, no. Okay, you think your team is about to distract, and that distraction covers your rotation across a relatively dangerous space. This is a bit of a dangerous space that you've got to rotate against, and you've got the right idea, sort of when your team presses here, when your team opens this angle and starts to threaten from their spots, that's when it's safest for you to go across. I actually don't know that I want to spend this helix. I understand what you did in the earlier helix when you were rotating was fine, because it was obvious. Now I want to keep your rotation a little more hidden. We have a super chat coming in from Adam in Charge for $4.99 saying, remember when you had it all, the nice house, the car, the wife, the family, the name, and then Legit took that away from you? He destroyed you? L? Oh, is that what happened? Is that what happened? I don't think that's quite what happened. I appreciate the super chat, but I don't think that's quite what happened. Okay, Adam in Charge with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you for that. So, Lion, again, what we're looking at here, I like conceptually that you sort of waited until these guys were ready to threaten. I'd like to see you'd actually hear a shot, you'd actually see some shots go here before you do this rotation, but that should be like an instant from now, so I don't mind this too much. I don't actually like the helix here. What you're doing is you're going, hey, I want to use my helix here because that's real burst potential, and by the time I need it, it's a short cooldown. I'll definitely have it back by the time I need it over here. The problem is it pulls a fair amount of attention to what you're doing, and I think there's a decent chance that you just sneak through here if you get your timing right, and then you get to open with this fresh angle thing again that I've talked about a couple times, and when an angle is fresh and they don't know you have it, they're going to be a little slower on their reaction on it, and I actually think you're robbing your elimination potential, your pickup potential from over here by spending this rocket down here. You'll have the rocket back, it's true, but this is like pulling attention to what you're doing and weakening the angle surprise later. Oh, you're not going. I gave you too much credit. Okay. I don't want to. I don't want to shoot uphill at these guys. Like, it's over, Anakin. They have the high ground. Okay, so now you're trying to be the bait while your team rotates. Okay.
Much
Sure.
better.
Good. These map differences matter. These map differences matter. For example, this not being here can block some eliminations. This being here is making you hesitant to just shoot through it to hit this. There's a reason that these don't go live in tournament play. Though actually, I think with how most of the tournament rules are written right now, they would, because the map pool is anything that's currently in the competitive season for a lot of tournaments. So, like, technically this should be in the map pool for tournaments. Okay, minor thought. Tangent. Technically, it is a different map. I'm just realizing maybe I should be having Team Scrim on it. Okay. Not the end of the world. A little bit annoying, but this was conceptually right. Nordstrom says, I love when the wholeness of this player base shines through and the enemy team just gives you opportunities like that Zarya did there.
Much better.
You don't like that these map changes are live? It's a seasonal thing, and the reality is, I get it. I don't actually consider competitive ladder, to be the height of competitiveness. I consider organized play to be. So, like, I get it. I get how it's like, no, this is in the competitive mode and you've changed it and you shouldn't have done that. And I do understand that, but I treat competitive like the gym and organized play, tournaments, like the real thing, the actual competitive game. So it doesn't bother me a ton. But I totally get why it bothers other people. I think probably worth, though, it's like, hey, it's cool. People don't spend enough time, or a lot of people don't spend enough time in non-competitive modes. I know there's tons of people that just play quick play and arcade, but lots of people don't spend enough time in non-competitive modes to justify having the map if you don't put it in competitive, or the competitive people who would like to play it wouldn't get a chance. And I think when you look at the numbers there, you're going to find that most people prefer that it's in. But maybe I'm wrong. It's unfortunate. You could step forward here and healing station for them. I don't mind that you didn't. Yeah, that's fine. What am I supposed to tell Nordstrom off for?
Sick transit glory.
Nordstrom off for? Nordstrom. Yeah. One of the two. I didn't see what he did, but I haven't read all of chat.
Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Enemy engaging.
Okay, we're sneaking forward again. Let's see if we get our timing. That's a good moment. Yep. That's fine. It was as your hog was distracting. You chose to try to go for the Elim. If she wasn't bubbled, I think that would be right. Just wait. Okay, now you have to go get a health back. You could have just gotten the health back. You have sprint. Okay, fine. Just running. So now we need to establish another angle. This isn't really another angle. This is the same angle you keep using. And it's like, it's gonna work because of what your team did with their rotation. I don't love it. Yeah, this is right. So now before you open this,
You in my sights.
you did want to check, is your team ready? Is your team engaging this? Like, you want this to go while your team is engaging. Fortunately, they are. You're on it off angle. This should be powerful.
Feeling ground. I love the
Okay,
smell of
you can
pulse
drop and
munitions
bite.
in the morning.
Yeah, drop for her. It's
In my
worth.
day, we'd have this
You were a
payload
little slow on your
delivered
drop
already.
there. Why are we not heal stationing? There you go. You were just slow on your heal station. Like, you were slow on your drop, and then you're doing this, and like, Are you trying to spend all your ammo before you heal station? No. I know heal station delays you slightly, but it was totally worth for this battle. Because, remember, you can afford to have a bit of a drawn-out fight with her. You can't afford that. She's not about to get help. You don't know necessarily, oh, maybe she has a nade, maybe she doesn't have her nade, but, like, okay, that's a self-heal versus your self-heal. You're more favored if this fight goes long than her. You have cover and she doesn't have cover. You can drop your heal station behind this, use your cover on off like that. Yes, she ultimately got you under there. That was good of her. But like you have cover that you can dance with. You can make the shots on you very hard. She really doesn't control any cover right now. And even if she can self-nade, it's just equivalent to you heal stationing. Except that her self-nade delivers her healing a little faster than your heal station. So like this was just too greedy. Like you're trying to early force this fight on her type thing when get value out of your heal station. Slow down the fight. Get another opportunity for a helix. All that. Was your aim not as good as we saw from the 5v5 game against the Pharaoh throwing, right?
Mission ain't over yet.
30 seconds remaining.
We do not have time to wait. We do not have time to wait. Attack now.
Got you in my sight.
Heroes never die.
Okay. So, again, you go here. You're fighting this. Yeah, I can live with that. It's a little deeper than you wanted the heal station. You actually wanted to drop the heal station on your way in. If you drop the heal station like here, you can still heal in exactly the same place you're in, but you've got a lot more room to play with over here to actually go back and fight the Zarya if you want to go out and deal with her. Fortunately, McCree deals with it for you, and I mean go out and deal with her after you're healed up a bit more. Because I'm worried about her fighting you and trying to use this as her line of sight, trying to use this as her cover, trying to use this to stall while she gets her bubble back, and you can more easily afford to follow her around this corner if your healing station is pushed out a little further here.
Heroes never die.
Okay. Sure.
Fire at will.
Why are we forcing that quite that hard? You're behind. I like some of this dragging. You're dragging reasonably. I just probably wouldn't have forced the end of this fight quite as hard. Wasting his visor is good. Now you're trying to fight him while he has the mercy advantage. The fight sort of demands that you do. Okay.
Fire at will.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, you're in diamond, man. Like, I tell people plat and below not to shoot at Valking Mercies most of the time, but you're a diamond hit scan, and that Mercy has no cover and has put herself in a situation where she's not going to be able to Guardian Angel 2 cover very well. You eliminate that. You do. Like, you're a diamond hit scan. She's not going to be able to go for cover well. You put pressure on that. This is a mistake, and she's made a couple of them that you really haven't punished. Okay. Like, you shoot at her. If she starts to move, you immediately sprint, and you shoot at her more. She's got nowhere to go. Like, is she going to go put herself over here? No. The best place that she's going to go is ultimately behind this cart, but that's not an immediate travel for her. She has no guardian that puts her behind the cart immediately. Temporal talks some more about how great diamonds are. Imagine being less than 3k couldn't be you. A lot of people have been promoting recently. It's been good. I've been getting a lot of DMs from people that, you know, like day or two after sessions, or the diamond is now masters. Masters is now 4100. Plat is now diamond. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people promote recently for the first time. It's good.
This old dog's learned a few tricks.
Round 1.
Okay. So, we would have liked to go deeper there.
Score.
What's going to end this video
0
with Staplet? No,
1.
no.
Switching
Okay, so
sides.
we see some things here. I'd like to think a little bit more about your team's timing. I really would. Like, angles are good, and I know in the post you were like, yeah, show me all these secret new angles, all these things that'll help. Angles are good, but you've actually found what's a pretty good angle for breaking the place that you mostly got held up here, which is this. This is a perfectly fine angle for breaking it, especially because your team was going this way and this way. So your issue wasn't the angle, though you did stay down here a bit more than I'd like. Your issue was the timing. We want the timing of when we challenge on our angles to be when our opponents. We want to use our teammates as bait. Our teammates are unreliable. We don't know if they'll do work or not if we pull attention to us. So we would rather most of the time let our teammates pull attention to them, and then we open and do that. Now that doesn't always apply. You have teammates that are better built for pulling attention, like tanks, like your Zarya, like your Hog, like Reinhardt, that sort of thing. You did a good thing when you distracted to allow your Pharah to complete this rotation to go for her play. That was very good. Could have been a tiny bit better, and we talked about that, but that was very good. But mostly, I want you to go, hey, can I time this rotation a little bit better? Can I let these guys pull a little bit more attention to them? Can I not helix and get up here a little bit more cleanly and then have a little bit more ability to go, okay, now let me stare through the wall to see, and now they're engaged, and now let me open type thing, so that they don't just open looking in your direction like this. That's what we're really looking to do. Use your teammates a little better, pay a little more attention to when your teammates are engaging, so that when you open the fresh angle, you have that higher probability of getting that first quick elimination, of not immediately getting your heal station forced, of not getting forced to go do this, of not being in a panic of, oh no, I'm in a firefight with the soldier, a firefight with the Ashe. I don't want an even fair fight with the soldier or the Ashe. Like, my angle isn't all that helpful if it's still giving me fair fights. I don't want fair fights. It is still helpful. I want to get the jump on someone with these moves of like, oh, nope, I took the Ashe to half before she even turned to look at me. Oh yeah, well, that sounds pretty good. That's more what I'm looking for. We talked a little bit about healing station placement, and then we've still got room to talk about you're not quite challenging this Mercy when she takes bad positions. And I don't know if that's a belief that you won't be able to eliminate her or not, but it's still worth putting pressure on her. She's going to play different, and your teammates are just going to find openings to eliminate her. Damage, real damage to people, creates openings. It causes people to play more defensively, to play more passive, to give up space themselves, to not play as aggressive. If she doesn't play as aggressive, she's not willing to support her Ashe who's in an aggressive position. Her Ashe gets pushed back. Or she does support it and she gets hit with a Pharah rocket and she gets eliminated. But that Pharah rocket wouldn't have done it if you hadn't chipped her down. That sort of thing. Like, this damage adds up. It really does matter. So those are 3 things we're seeing so far. Let's continue on through.
Are you scared?
Ready for battle.
Temporal ever had any sports injuries? Yes, I have. I dislocated my shoulder on Tuesday. Ooh, in a mosh pit. I'm going to have to figure out what I can do. I can't play Overwatch. I'm going to have to figure out what to do when I can't play Overwatch after my surgery in the future. Play with the DDR pad. You can totally do MMA without ever getting injured at all. No, MMA and wrestling don't really allow for that. So you've got to figure out. So you'll have to see Nardstorm. So let's see. You got a dislocated shoulder. And that's going to be tough. You're probably not going to play as much video games until that, gets healed a little bit more. You're probably going to go, oh, hey, not going to do so much of that. You're having surgery for it. Okay. You're going to find other things to do. You're going to find shows that you want to watch if that's how you want to fill the time. You're going to read a little bit more. You're just, not going to be able to do video games. Or if you do, you'll probably find that a controller is easier on your body than, a mouse is. I don't know what shoulder we're talking about here. So yeah, like, advice is you'll find other ways to fill your time. You will. It's just what you can do is a little bit different. So you might read more, you might watch more, you might go, again, you're probably going to be in a like, hey, I'm not getting to do sports the way that I want to because surgery. So you might walk more, you might hike more, you might run more, all these things. Those will be different ways to fill your time, but they're still useful and productive. Well, they can be useful and productive. How long do you expect to be out for? Like, I don't know how bad it is and what the surgery is there necessarily. Okay.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Try not to get yourselves killed out there.
Hard might die. I think a dislocated shoulder shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be, but I don't know how bad it was.
I'll enjoy the quiet while it lasts.
Don't worry, my friends. Hey, hello. Good choice.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers
Okay,
incoming.
so you're playing from here, that's fine.
Defend objective A.
It's really not that dangerous to you to go, oh hey, I'm gonna go up over here and go for like an opening pick right here. It's really not. Or at least, you know, opening damage and then sprint out type thing, but I can deal. That's fine. You don't have to. We're good.
Enemy contact.
Let's move out.
Likewise, I can hit a helix from up here, but okay, I'll deal. I'll deal.
Come out and face me.
What are we? It's a little messy if you track. That's a bubble. Okay, I can deal with this because that's where you expect Hog to rotate. Sure, if that's the case, I'm probably not opening this angle.
Everyone, heal up.
Like, your movement suggested that you expected Hog to still be here, in which case you'd have dropped your healing station further forward, so that your healing station here could heal you out here, as well as back behind cover against him. Your healing station actual placement suggested that you expected Hog to be here, which makes this station good, because you can heal up in here or fight out here and still be getting healing. But you then moved forward and moved out, which suggests that you didn't expect Hog to be in there / coming through here. So I'm not quite sure what you were predicting. Why are you looking at his feet?
Everyone, heal up.
Yeah, I don't know why you're looking at his feet. Okay, you're just using that because they're tanks.
Valkyrie charging.
Sure, the Moira, that's a reasonable target. She's going to be hard to eliminate, but it causes the Ana to not pay attention to you while you work on the Moira. Okay.
Heal up here.
Line of sight with Zarya. You tried. That was reasonable. Oh, lack of playing Overwatch. I hear you.
Tactical necessity.
Okay. It's fine. You can give him zones.
My ultimate is charged.
Too far. Too far.
Anyone need some healing?
Okay. Challenge Ash. Challenge Ash over Hog. You have to leave. You have to leave.
Get into
You have to pull back. You can't win at this range. Especially without Helix. He's too healthy. Yeah, you needed to back earlier. He's forced you back, and while his hook is down, you need to sprint yourself back here, apply pressure, and then start to wrap yourself back out over here to do work again. Like, that's how this needed to work. No. You're opening this angle while still reloading.
heroes.
Okay. I don't really need to... No, I don't want to walk out into their sightline like this. I'm actually more interested in pressuring their tanks from behind at this point than in putting myself here. When you put yourself here, you are now in that unfortunate situation of you're not Winston, you don't have a bubble to put here to block Ana heals. You've just put yourself as red team between a bunch of blue teamers. Generally, you don't want to do that. You want to be on the outside. On the outside. So, like, you'd want to be, oh, I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. You want to be on the outside of what the blue team is. Unless you're going in committing to a brawl type thing. But even then, really, you do. So, this isn't really great. I really would have preferred that you just stay here. Be hyper aware that these two could round the corner and push you. But you outdamage their heals. So just cleanly outdamage them. And then even though, yes, there's the annoying supports over there. There's a Zarya and a Hog here. You have a relatively clean angle from in here to just apply infinite damage to the Zarya. And your damage is going to outdo the heals that they receive. That's how Overwatch is balanced right now. So, like, don't do that. Do this instead. I'm just going to put 30 bullets into Roadhog or into Zarya. It's not going to eliminate them, but I'm pretty comfortable doing it, and they really can't turn to deal with me. And if they do turn to deal with me, that makes it way easier for my tanks to push them, for my Ana to help. Like, we're good with this. Don't put yourself in the middle of the enemy team like this. This timing is better, though, in that it's while your team is fighting, but this is sort of like, remember over here where I was talking about how shooting the Moira was good, even though EN is a little more likely for you to eliminate, and the reason for that was she's potentially not going to notice, not be able to deal with it. But, well, tangent. I'm not going to go there. Okay, that's fine. You defaulted way too much to not shooting tanks? I mean, it's a little funny to say that. Yeah, like, we like to take out non-tank targets, but if the tank is there and the tank is the target, we'll take the tank as the target. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, this was a flippable fight.
Sic transit Gloria.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Okay. Sure. Okay, he beat you. It's unfortunate. He was the right target to open on. And it was reasonable to open on him, even without your team, because it was a fresh angle. He's a 200 hero. You get it. Okay. We're gonna go up right. Yeah. I mean, you just literally didn't turn around fast enough. It's reaction speed. There's a couple times that you've been caught with your speed is just too slow, but that's just pace of the game type thing. You've got to recognize that if you're sprinting through a doorway, there's always the chance someone is on the other side. Good. And he's dropping so you can stay. Fine with me. And you're going to circle. You're going to circle and punish them. Get them stuck in the castle. Okay. Genji, you just saw him. Okay, he's gone. Go back to your spot. Go back to your spot to keep your angle. Fine. You've been playing Tracer a lot recently, and one of the things I've realized is sometimes it's better to shoot tanks than to just gun for supports. Absolutely. Tracer is super flexible, and Soldier can be too, in who they go after, because they both do enough damage to be meaningful pressure on tanks, to be like, hey, your heals aren't actually going to keep up if we combine this with much else. And there's always going to be someone else, not always, but there's usually going to be someone else shooting at a tank. Like, we can overwhelm the amount of healing coming in as long as we have a consistent sight line and someone else is also fighting that tank. That said, it can also be good to shoot supports, but not if your positioning safely allows you to shoot tanks, but would have to be dangerous in order to fight supports. That kind of becomes your decision-making factor. No, Temporal, don't let them know. Tell the Tracers to never shoot tanks. No.
I don't play by the rules anymore.
We took out the Genji. Rocketed ourselves.
I don't play by the rules anymore.
That rocket is a little too hopeful. Sure.
I am ready to unleash coalescence.
So this is unfortunate in the timing he hits is while you're leaving. You could have potentially been like, hey, wait, is he going to do this? I don't know what the comms were like here.
I am ready to unleash coalescence.
Yeah, I don't really have a desire, especially if you knew that your Ana was up here. Like, that was good. If we had a situation where a Kree was going here, yes, he gets eliminated. Our Ana was here, and we were here. We don't need our Ana's support. We're self-sufficient. We have a healing station if we need it. We don't need to go join our Ana. We had more angles. More angles. We didn't need to consolidate there. I think you just didn't check. You just went, I'm kind of sick of this angle because reasons. I'm not sure what our reasons are for being sick of this angle. I'm really not sure what our reason for being sick of this angle is. Still seems like a good angle to me. Maybe you're just like, I want fresh angle advantage to try to get another pick. But you ran to an angle that your Ana was on. Did you run up here to... No? Yeah, I don't know. And if you wanted to get cute with like a real fresh angle, what you would have done is, well, A, you might have realized this was happening. You would have gone, oh, hey, I'm going to take a wider angle over here, or maybe I'm even going to drop down here and get real cheeky with my angle and know that I can retreat safely. But this, that your Ana already had, not so much. You hear Hog. You hear Hog. Okay.
Fire at will.
Yeah, he's already on top of you. You're at 12 ammo. This is probably not a reload. This is probably either keep sprinting or shoot at him. Reloading stops your sprint and doesn't let you shoot at him. Yeah.
Fire at will.
You don't reload there.
No rest for the weary.
The soldier should build the habit of rocket jumping when encountering Roadhog to dodge check. Nah. We don't need to make that a focus. Don't need to be going, oh yeah, let's do that every time. Okay, your team's gone. Wait it out. Don't get caught. Ana saw you. Yeah. Kind of fed. So, like, I get it. You're just like, hey, I'm gonna sprint. Ana clearly sees you here. And you maintain a very direct path. Like, you walk into this leap dart here, which is just unfortunate. And it's because your pathing is too direct. That's okay. Pathing is too direct given that she'd seen you, I should specify. If no one was paying attention to you, sure, getting there faster has its advantage. But it looks cool when you dodge a hook like that? That's true, Nardstorm.
Till the fight's done.
Okay. Coming out right side, you're immediately gonna have to visor. Visor.
In my sights.
Healing station. That Ana has a habit of taking you down when your healing station is available.
The true enemy of humanity is disorder.
I'm not really convinced this is faster.
Victory.
Like, Soldier has sprint, TP. Yeah, the TP is probably a tiny bit faster. Yeah. Okay. So, things that we could talk about. Things that we could talk about. I mean, there was the Mercy there that you really didn't shoot when she had bad positioning, including when she was Valk, and your aim at Diamond needs to be at a level where you're comfortable doing that. So there's that. There's not using your team quite well enough as a distraction, which would be the big one. This would probably be the first thing where I want you to put a little more focus on the timing at which you open angles. You really want to fight their team when their team is busy fighting. You can open a fresh angle on people to try to get a pick, but you have to consider, am I more likely to get a pick with just this fresh angle, or am I more likely to get a pick with this fresh angle when my team is engaging them? And the answer is probably the latter, but you might have time to try a fresh angle for a pick, because your team just needs the help, because otherwise they're not going to be able to get in because they're feeding. Or I can try this fresh angle for a pick, and I'm going to have time to take another new fresh angle. And the map allows me to take another new fresh angle for when they're actually engaged. So that's an option, but you need to think a little bit harder about this timing, about, hey, when is this going to be most effective? It's not just the maps. It's not just like, we've been doing the map guide series on this channel, and yes, controlling the angles, very helpful, very good. There's a little more you could have done on defense in terms of recognizing that your team really wasn't controlling this portion of the map, was really only controlling the other portion of the map. And you have the best range to play from here, even though, yes, you will have fall off unless you get greedy and come down here, which I totally approve of and recommend against their comp anyways. But timing is going to be the next big piece of that. You've got to peak them when your team is the correct adequate distraction, and preferably when your team is coming in from a different angle, and not giving yourself away if you don't have decent chance of making that elimination happen, of making that pick off, or your team is engaged and it's time to contribute, that sort of thing. So timing really is going to be the key for you. I'd also like to upgrade the heal station use. Like, your heal station positioning is not particularly amazing. I want you to think more about, hey, I want to use this heal station where it lets me heal both while I'm fighting and while I have cover. I want all of your heal stations to basically have the option of, I can open an angle and get healed by this, or I can stay behind cover and get healed by this. I want that to happen. I also just want it to go down a little more often when you're in any sort of danger, when you're under pressure, when you're fighting. Like, you seem to forget about it and just auto lock into the aim there when, say, there's an Ana that you're fighting. So, like, don't forget about your heal station. That's kind of a big deal there. And then use that heal station to properly get your value, to have the places where you can open and close cover. You can take that longer fight if you have to. It's really not a big deal. It just means you'll get another Helix rocket opportunity. So those would probably be the two places I'd go. Again, the timing of your angles and the heal station. We could go more if I were to grab a third point. It probably would be positioning based, and the reason it would be positioning based, even though your positioning isn't super weak by any means, is I really would have liked a little bit more control over here. It's a different angle. It matters. You can just literally just drop down, sprint down, go fight from here on this even more aggressive angle, and then pull back out quite nicely. That would have worked very well for your defense. It would have made it more challenging. Yes, it means you give up some of the early poke on them, and that might feel bad, feel like it sucks. But if you've got your McCree and Ana up here poking, and then you're over here, that actually is more powerful. Yes, you give up a little bit of early poke, though you can mitigate that by starting up here, but you get a huge cross angle when they actually do start to press in, and that becomes worth it. And your best compromise is you go, hey, I'm going to do my damage from here, and then sprint down sort of thing, and go do it from here. Status of healing station and status of your health may matter for whether you drop or not. But that's something that we want to do. And then same thing, this is really a positioning thing of, we don't want to be in the middle of the enemy team. We don't want to be in the middle of the enemy team. We don't want to be in the middle of the enemy team. We're much happier to just go, oh, if I have to put myself in the middle of the enemy team to do that, I'm going to apply my damage over on the tanks instead and just out damage the heals. And that's perfectly fine. Please don't hesitate to do that rather than stand here. Similar thing here. The Hog's getting close. The Hog's getting close. What do I do? What do I do? Well, you just leave and you get outside the fight again. Now you're outside of the fight again. We want to be outside of the fight as Soldier. Okay. That's what I'm going to give you, those three things. If you have any questions, please let me know. You can throw them up in chat now. If you are enjoying the content, please do drop a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And if you have questions, throw them in chat. If you'd like to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. See what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. Okay. Looking forward to the next episode of This Player's Review. Okay. At Temporal, does health situation keep healing out of line of sight for a bit, like Lucio's aura? Does health station keep healing out of line of sight for a little bit, like Lucio's aura? If so, only a tiny bit. I don't actually know the answer to that. If like your HP will continue to go up, like hey, it was applied to you. I mean, we can probably find a moment where no, I don't know that we have a moment that I can easily remember where we ran out of our health station when we weren't yet. I do remember one, but I don't remember where it was. If so, it's going to be for like a tick. I mean, really less than a tick, but less than a tick isn't a thing. It's not going to be very much if that is the case there. So effectively no, but might there be a tiny bit of loss? There could be. I think Lucio's is more. Anyways, I don't know. If so, really not for very much. Okay, that's going to do it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.